fire. Hey!
What's up guys, it's Khunlimited. Today I have another video for you guys, and today I'm going to be listing off my top 5 Universe 6 participants in the God of Destruction tournament, or the God tournament in the Champa arc. Now these characters are from the manga, so if you're not caught up with the manga, you're not going to know who these characters are. It's not going to be really spoiling anything. Maybe for one character there might be some spoilers for kind of his backstory. They kind of gave a bit information on that because at the time of recording this, the latest chapter that is out is chapter 8 of the manga. So if you don't really care, if you just want to know the characters, it's a perfect video to watch. But if you really want to know nothing about the characters and you want to be completely surprised for the anime, then you are free to leave right now. So basically, there's 5 Universe 6 participants. If you don't know what Universe 6 is, it is the twin universe of Universe 7, and Universe 7 is our universe in Dragon Ball. So Universe 6, they've already released the participants, or revealed the participants, and I'm going to be basically going through my top 5 list of them, which one I like better, based on what we know right now. Really, we know nothing about most of them. We just know a few things and maybe a couple of them, and that's all. But mostly, I'm going to be going based off looks, first impressions, what we know about them, etc. Now, on number 5, we have Frost. Now, Frost is basically the Frieza equivalent of Universe 6. And what I like about Frost, which I didn't like about Frieza, is the way he looks. I'll probably have a picture on the screen right now, the colored version or the manga version. So basically, he's kind of a blue version of Frieza when it comes to colors. And what I like about him is that his design just looks much better. When I first saw Frieza, when I first started watching Dragon Ball, I'm gonna be honest, like most people, I thought he was female. And for a long time, I even had called him she so much of the times when I talked about him, and it was an honest mistake because I was so used to thinking that he was a female just by his aesthetics and how he looked. But when it comes to Frost, you can completely tell he's a male. He looks pretty badass with the way he looks, kind of the stance he has in the manga. And from what Piccolo says in the manga, it seems like he's not a bad guy. So he actually is the Emperor of Universe 6. Just like how Frieza was attempting or almost was the Emperor of Universe 7. And where I was getting to is Piccolo says that he doesn't sense any evil energy from Frost, meaning that he's probably good. Now, Piccolo could be wrong, we don't really know anything about him, but it's probably true that he's good, and hopefully he is, because if he's just another evil character, it would just really be saturated, and it just seems like another way they're just trying to bring Frieza back, because they brought Frieza back from Resurrection of F. It wasn't really too interesting. If they kind of bring him back with another character, it would be kind of boring. So if they bring him back in a good way as like a nice character, I can kind of like imagine him being kind of like a polite character. I think that'd be pretty hilarious. So I think Frost would be that kind of character. So he comes at number 5. Now at number 4 we have Botamo, which is basically Winnie the Pooh of Universe 6. He like actually looks like Winnie the Pooh, same colors and everything. Only difference is that he has like those boots. But when it comes to Botamo, we know a bit more information about him than the other characters. And what we know about Botamo is just the way he fights, because in the latest manga chapter 8, we see some panels of him fighting with Goku, because that's the first match, Goku versus Botamo. And the main move we do know about Botamo is that his ears actually shoot lasers, which is kind of hilarious seeing that, because in the chapter Goku just running around trying to get in the game because he just ate before the tournament, so he's trying to kind of digest that, so he runs around and you just see Botamo trying to get him, but he obviously can't. And when it comes to strength level, at least in the form he is right now, he doesn't seem too strong, because in the manga you can clearly tell Goku's not even trying at all. He's just smiling, looking at him and beating the shit out of Botamo. But then from what people have said about the translations, there aren't official translations out yet, but from what people had said, at the end Botamo says that he's gonna get serious now. I believe that's what the wording was. So when it comes to that, maybe Botamo's gonna transform, maybe he has a completely new form, or he just has some kind of thing where he's gonna bulk up or something, and that's kind of the type of vibe I get from when he says that. So maybe he's gonna become much stronger, because right now Goku's just in his base and he's not even trying, and he's beating up Botamo. Now personally, when it comes to what kind of transformation he could have, I really want a Janemba type transformation, because if you remember how Janemba looks, which is right here, and if you compare it to Botamo, they're pretty similar in like size, shape, and things like that. And if you know how Janemba's transformation looks, which is this, which is completely badass, imagine what they could do with Botamo. I feel like there's a very small possibility of doing that, because since Janemba isn't canon, so maybe they kind of want to put his design type into Botamo. And another reason why it could happen is because Botamo's design is so oversimple. I feel like that would be the perfect choice for them to have kind of a complicated and more complex transformation to him. Now obviously maybe they just are designing like that, because it does seem like Toriyama is more into the simple design so far with Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue. Botamo could be his new type of design, and also Monaka on the Universe 7 team also has a very simple design. This could be a new type of design for him, or he's just doing this by purpose to give a complex transformation. We don't know, but Botama nonetheless does seem pretty interesting for what we've seen so far. He seems like a very cocky kind of guy. The way he's always just smiling. He thought he could beat up Goku, but obviously he got his ass kicked, but then he did say he's gonna get serious. So I'm really excited for the next chapter. But yeah, Botamo does come at number 4. At number 3 we have Mogera. Now Mogera, to be completely honest, we know nothing about him. The only thing we do know that is confirmed that he actually isn't a robot. A lot of people were speculating that there's someone inside him, but they confirmed that he's not a robot. He's part of an alien race called Metalman or Metalman. That's literally all we know about him. There's nothing we know about him. But the reason I have him at number 3 for my list is literally purely on his looks. I feel like we've had so much of these races which were kind of like aliens or humans, and I honestly never expected for a race to look like robots to come in, and I really like that aspect to it. I really like how he looks. It's not like he looks like some kind of ugly robot either. His design looks pretty cool. From what I remember of his design, he has kind of like a symbol where his heart should be, kind of where Goku has his Wii symbol. I think he had a symbol there. He has like these 2 holes on his stomach. No, he didn't have a symbol on him. I think he had 2 holes on his stomach, which basically shows his insides, and inside he's filled with kind of like this magma looking material. So far he's really mysterious. We know nothing about him, just that he's part of the Metalman race. But purely from his design, I think it looks cool, and I kind of find him comedic in a way, because he looks like this huge bulky robot, but when it comes to the time when he had to write the written exam, you just see kind of like his 3 claws holding the pencil and him writing it, almost like they didn't consider that maybe it might be hard for him to hold a pencil. So right now, so far, it just seemed like he had a comedic kind of showing when it came to the written exam. But when it comes to fighting, when it comes to personality, when it comes to a story, we literally know nothing about him. So just purely reasons of looks, I had to put him so high on the list. So Mogera has to come at number 3 for me. Now number 2 we have Cabe, or Cabe, like K-Y-A-B-E, or Kaba. There really isn't a confirmed name for him when it comes compared to the other ones. But Cabe, he is the Saiyan of the Universe 16, and at first he kind of looked kind of like a jackass when you first seen his pictures, the way he's looking at the camera, or like at us in the manga when he first entered. But if you look at the news manga chapters, probably have a screenshot right now, he's actually a nice Saiyan. And the twist with the Universe 6 Saiyans are they're actually a race of like peaceful people. Like in Universe 7, the Saiyan race is basically bad. They took over planets, they killed a lot of alien races. In Universe 6 they do none of that, and there was kind of a backstory given to him. So he's the only member in Universe 6 where we actually do have some dialogue from some major dialogue and some talking between Goku, Vegeta, and him. So basically the backstory of him is that he's from a planet called Planet Salad, and obviously that comes from the pun of vegetables that they give to Saiyans. And he says that at one point there was an internal conflict, and that a lot of the Saiyans were turning bad, and then they fled to Universe 7 and took over another planet called Planet Vegeta. That's what they named it. So it's pretty cool how they're kind of building the Dragon Ball world and expanding to a much more, kind of explaining some questions of where the Saiyans were first came from, and that's obviously where it was from, Planet Salad. So it's pretty cool that they told more about the Saiyans. And the amazing thing is when he's telling that to Vegeta, Vegeta said that he actually knew about Planet Salad, that he has heard about it before, and then he's the one who says that there was an internal conflict there. And then he even asks Cabe later that if he could visit anytime, and Cabe says of course, since we don't take over planets anymore. Now when it comes to the actual aesthetics about Cabe, I kind of like how his armor is. So from what I saw the translations, his armor, the stuff that he's wearing, is basically what Saiyans used to wear before they were kind of taken over by Frieza, and before they started wearing the Frieza-esque armor. And I like the armor. It looks like kind of like a Roman-esque type armor that kind of has a battle skirt, and it looks much more simpler. And the color scheme, I believe from what I remember, is kind of like a beige and like pink, and he has a blue shirt. And I really like it. I like the design. I think he looks pretty sick. And also the age of him, I think, is gonna come nice in contrast with the rest of the Saiyans, because Goku and Vegeta thought they were the only Saiyans, but then now we have him, which is a new Saiyan, and apparently there's a whole planet still of Saiyans, and he's pretty young. And the fact that Champa chose him to be in the tournament means that he's pretty strong at such a young age, because he does look maybe like 15, 14, that kind of age. So we'll see if he's actually strong or not. But because of those reasons and because of his aesthetics and kind of his personality, he seems like a very nice character. He comes at number 2. Now at number 1 we have Hit. Now I was really kind of playing with what should it be at number 1, Hit or Cabe. I was about to put Cabe because we know so much about him, but I'm gonna keep Hit here for now because when you first saw the characters and we didn't know anything about them, Hit's the one that kind of stuck out to me from his design and the way he looks. Hit seems like the guy who's gonna become a villain, or he's gonna be a villain. He doesn't look like a nice guy at all. He legitimately looks pissed in every shot he's in, and he looks completely badass. I'll probably have pictures of how he looks. He basically wears like this long trench coat. You can see he's pretty bulky, and he just looks, the way he looks, you could tell he's a villain. And I kind of like his design overall. The coat looks pretty badass. The color of him purple, that's my favorite color, so that's one of the reasons. His face looks like Perfect Cell, and Perfect Cell is my favorite villain. Just basically every aspect of him I like in a way, and I think could be perfect to be set as a villain. And maybe he has some secrets under his long coat. Maybe he has some kind of transformation which would make him look more like a villain. And I feel like he could have some kind of transformation because now his head kind of looks kind of plain. Like he's basically bald and his head's pretty plain. It kind of looks like they're setting up his head for a transformation, if that makes sense. But even if he doesn't have one, him so far is my favorite design in the Universe 6 participants. And since he was the first one to stick out for me when I first saw the designs, I feel like I'm going to keep him number 1 for now, unless they do change in the future. I'm probably going to be redoing this list at the end of the Universe 6 arc or Champa arc, just to see how much I've changed, how much we learn about the characters, and so on. Because maybe it's completely opposite. Maybe Hit's good, and maybe Cabe betrays him, maybe Mogera is a hero, things like that. So we'll get to see later on how it is. But so far, I gotta say, this is my top 5 list. Number 5 is Frost, 4 is Botamo, 3 is Mogera, 2 is Cabe, and 1 is Hit. So I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of lengthy top 5 video, but I really enjoy doing this. I really want to get more into doing these Dragon Ball videos. Remember to put down in the comments below what your favorite characters from the Universe 6 participants, or what's your top 5 list. I'd really like to know. It'd be pretty cool to see what your guys' opinions are. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember, the possibilities for Dragon Ball are unlimited. Later.